My name is Michael, and I am the owner and creator of Lorybrook, an essential skincare company founded in love. Now, I say founded in love because my journey to skincare began as a labor of love for my daughters, Lauren and Brooklyn. When they were preschoolers, they had terrible dry skin, and nothing we gave them seemed to help. And it was the worst in these Michigan winters. So as an alternative to steroids, which is what was suggested by their doctor, I just started researching different oils and herbs. And what I found was amazing. There are so many indigenous and essential oils that contain healing and anti-inflammatory properties. They give your skin a healthy glow by keeping your skin's moisture levels balanced. Lorybrook products are made with all natural, essential, and indigenous oils. My body butters are more than just whipped shea butter. They are a combination of vitamin-rich ingredients that work together to heal, moisturize, and regenerate your skin. Lorybrook is great for all skin types. My body butters, soaps, and scrubs clean, exfoliate, and help to soothe and repair itchy, dry skin. And to all of my customers, my extended Lorybrook family, I just want to say thank you. The support that I've received since starting my company last year has been amazing. I'm so humbled that you would entrust my company with the daily skincare needs of you and your family. And for those of you who have yet to try Lorybrook, I invite you to come. Experience how good your skin can feel. Do you like to give the gift of love? Lorybrook has beautiful decorative gift boxes for everyone and every occasion. We offer every size to meet your needs in several pleasing scents. Try Lorybrook, a company founded in love. Hello, my name is Michael.
Plug in. Plug in. Connections to life. Plug in. Connections to life. Plug in. Connections to life.
Plug into the videos, materials that God inspired to obtain them, attain spiritual gifts so you won't get tired. To succeed in life, which is to be hidden in Christ. A solution is to get plugged in.
Connections to life. Connections to life. Connections to life. Connections to life. Connections to life.
Videos, materials that God inspired.
Connections
to
to
obtain them,
life.
attain spiritual gifts so you won't get tired.
Connections
to
to
succeed
life.
in life, which is to be hidden in Christ.
Connections to
Solution is
life.
to get plugged in.
Connections to life. Connections to life. Connections to life. Connections to life. Connections to life.
Hi, welcome to Connections to Life. We welcome you here today. We have a great show for you today. We are going to present the owner of Quirky Life Creations, Darlene Shropshire, and the co-host, the vice presidents of Connections to Life, has a hot topic for you guys. They're going to talk about how your self-denial can affect me. That's going to be good. So, Connections to Life, we are a nonprofit. We empower and we educate. We educate people in financial literacy. We empower them to live healthy lives, and we equip them with the necessary life skills. We connect with community. Community is very important to us, business owners, very important. So the first part of Connections to Life today in Community Highlights, we are highlighting Quirky Life. The co-owner of Quirky Life Creations is Darlene Shropshire, and she's here with us today. Hey.
Hi.
So glad to have you here with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
For sharing with us. I'm going to read a little something about Darlene. Quirky Life Creations, Darlene Shropshire, is a Detroit native. Some might call her quirky, and she loves it. Darlene attended the Detroit School of Arts, where she majored in radio and television. She didn't feel a pull to leave her city, so she decided to attend the University of Detroit Mercy, where she earned her Bachelor of Arts degree in Digital Media Studies. Whether it is liturgical dance, writing, singing, or designing, she strives to bring life into any project that is presented to her. She continues to make a statement with her unique style of dress, her art, and her creative outlook on life. Look at her with all the swag there.
Thank you.
Looking good. Yeah, them glasses is banging, the hat. Go on.
Thank you.
We love it, yes. So thank you for joining us today. I want to also add that Darlene does logos, and she did our Connections to Life logos and all those fabulous pictures where we looking real good. She was a photographer. So you do logos, you do all kind of print, and you call it Quirky Life Creations, right?
Yes.
Yes, and you are also married and have 2 children. And
Yes, I do.
It's amazing because I remember when you had just got out of high school and just started college. We met you then, and you worked and did a lot of our flyers, and I was like, this baby, she got it going on. And so you still got it going on. I would like to show also the YouTube channel that you guys do. Tell us a little bit about Love Makes Us.
It's just a story about how our family works. I co-parent my 7-year-old daughter, and we're a blended family. And I just wanted to show how our life runs. And it's animated, and it's a YouTube channel. It's like a blog. So that's pretty much it.
But you designed it.
Yes. Yep. I create everything.
Yes.
With my husband's help.
Yes.
He does the voiceovers too. So.
He does okay, awesome. That's John Shropshire, who is an amazing man of God as well. So if I could get our producer to show Love Makes Us, I forget which episode it is. I think Bud's going to tell us which episode it is.
Okay.
Love makes us.
When Babe said,
I think it was meant to be.
we honestly believe it.
Here are a few connections that prove that point.
5 minutes away.
For 5 years, we lived 5 minutes away from one another. We could literally walk down a street at any moment and lock eyes. But we so happened to meet in 2015.
Working days.
She was a receptionist at a trade school, and I was an optician at an eyeglass store in the same city and also down the street. I know for a fact that we took the same route for 2 years, but never crossed paths. We've seen each other every day since we met in the eyeglass store.
Family ties.
Amazingly enough, she grew up with my family from early childhood to adulthood. Now she can really call them family, even though they have always been.
Guidance.
My mentor, who I met at 17, grew up with her parents, and he was one of the first to hear of her mom's pregnancy with her. He encouraged our relationship, and he even officiated our marriage ceremony. Because of these connections, it was easy for us to meld together. People think we've been a couple for way longer than we actually have. But now, we have a lifetime of more connections to make.
Love makes us.
Episode 3. You want to say it? Say episode 3. Buddy. Episode 3. Please. Please.
Please follow us on Instagram and our YouTube channel and subscribe. Don't forget Facebook.
Love it. That's just amazing. And that's just episode 3. I think you have 7, 8 episodes.
Yep. 7, yep.
Yes. And so how can they find that on YouTube?
They can search Love Makes Us on YouTube, or even go to our Facebook page, Love Makes Us.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And it just really shows the creativity that you have. So I'm looking forward to some TV shows, I love that.
Maybe, I don't know.
Love it, absolutely love it. But I have just a couple of questions for you. Tell me, where did you get your passion for the design? Where did that come from?
Actually, when I went to college, I did not know that I wanted to do design. I initially went for psychology, and a counselor recommended a new program they were offering, and I tried it, and I just fell in love because it incorporated everything that I'm about, like creativity and just designing. So I majored in that, and I loved it. And now I love to bring people's visions to life. That's why I'm so passionate about it. Like, people have visions and they don't know how to bring them to life. So I just want to help them do that.
Absolutely, because I know there's been many times when I would tell you what I wanted, and you would say, well, what does it look like? I said, I have no idea. And you would end up, bringing, yes, that's it. Yeah. So you definitely have a passion for it, and you're bringing it to pass. So what was been some of the struggles that you had to overcome in launching your business, the Quirky Life Creations? What's been some of the struggles?
Just the networking part about it. I'm kind of laid back, so I don't talk much, but just getting it started, getting clients and everything. But what kind of catapulted my business was a photo shoot I did with Zoe, my daughter, and that has helped a lot with business.
Yes, because you're so gifted. I remember when I had asked you before, I said, have you thought about doing photography? Oh, no, I don't think so. And
I don't even remember that.
yeah, because when I was asking you about another photographer, and I said, oh, you're so creative. I said, have you ever thought? And you said no. And then when I saw you had did Zoe, with the flowers and outside the abandoned homes, that was just such a contrast of her young life and the beautiful flowers and then the decaying home and stuff. It just really stood out. That was really
Yeah, I know
Beautiful.
that was the Lord's leading because I
Yes.
had no idea where it came from. So
Yeah, yeah. And then also, you also do websites. Well, I don't know if
yeah,
you're
I'm
advertising,
starting to. Yeah, you
but
always push me to do new things.
that is something. I do stretch. But I remember I had texted you and I told you that, asked if you knew anybody to do websites that didn't charge 2 arms and 4 legs, because everybody, even just something simple, they wanted
Hmm.
thousands and thousands of dollars. And I'm like, I have that kind of money. And so I talked to
Hmm.
you about it, and you said, well, I can give it a try. And if you all check out our website, it's beautiful. And for you to just have tried to do it, it's amazing. So whenever
Thank
she
you.
starts doing websites, y'all, you should hook her up. Yeah.
Thank you.
So
And that's
what?
that you say that
Uh,
about how people charge so much. I want to offer quality work at a reasonable price.
yes, yes. Because we need that,
Hmm.
especially Connections to Life is a nonprofit, and
Hmm.
we serve. So, but that didn't seem to matter to the others, even people that I knew and said, "Mama Julie, I love
Hmm.
you, but I still got to
Right.
charge you these thousands of dollars."
Hmm.
Yeah, so we really appreciate your work, and you've done lots of other things, graphics. You did the logos for my temple caretaker, and I've got a new business. I'll be contacting you. I got that
Okay.
registered, so I need a logo for
Okay.
that as well. Yes. So, what are your success and failures in your business? Tell us a little bit, because sometimes
Um,
people they will, have some struggles and some failures in business, and they don't tell other people, so that when they start having failures, they just think it's just, them, and they want to quit.
mhm. Like I stated before about the networking, just you have to be confident that your work is good. So just that aspect of it, like to push yourself, like tell people that I do good work and to be proud of what you put forth. So that's one thing. A success is just the people that I've met. Like I've created lasting relationships with the people that I've met and I design with, and they can keep coming back. So that's something that I love.
Yeah, yeah. When somebody's good, you'll keep coming back to them. So, tell us, what are some of your future goals for the business, and what are you working on right now, presently?
Um, I think the photography part is really going to take off. I
Yeah.
really do have a lot of ideas. I actually have dreams about movies, so there may be something I might go into, but I'm
Yes.
not sure exactly. I haven't written down what I wanted to do yet, but I have a lot of ideas.
Yeah. And your children are so gifted, and your husband is gifted. So I see,
Hmm.
that you guys will probably be doing a lot together and
Yes.
doing a lot
Yeah,
of
we do.
things. Yes. So that is really, and even when we had our community, Sister Standing Strong, you and Zoe danced, and I
Hmm.
didn't know that you two. So you even teach dance, and you dance. So you're just all around gifted, all
Thank
around.
you.
Yes, and creative. Well, I want to thank you again for joining us on Community Highlights Connections to
Of
Life.
course.
So,
Anytime.
is there a number that people, if they want to find out from you, is there a number that they can call?
Not a number, but you can just go to my website, which is quirkylifecreations.com, and all the
Okay.
information is there. And
Okay.
you can just fill out a form, and I'll
Okay.
get in contact with you.
Awesome. You see it right on the screen, www.quirkylifecreations.com. And so you can reach out to her. She has on the website pictures of their of the some of the photographs that she's done, as well as the logos and the print, because you do printed material like
Yes.
flyers,
yeah.
etc. Yes, so they can contact you for all that. And then you also have the Love Makes Us on there
Yes.
as well. So thanks again for joining us.
Of
And
course.
I love you.
I love you too.
So stay tuned for the second half of the amazing dynamic duo, the Vice Presidents of Connections to Life.
Hi everyone, welcome to Connections to Life Part 2. This is Lawana, I am your host, and
Gloria.
She's your host too. All right, we want to thank you all for hanging. We want to thank you all for hanging in there, and we also want to say that Darlene, the first interview, she is an amazing person.
She really is.
She is so creative, and she's awesome to work with.
Yes.
Yes, and so it's always a pleasure. I'm so glad to see her on Connections to Life, and hopefully, Darlene, if you're watching this, we're coming at you too, because we need a logo as well, right?
Yes, and we real advise you guys to reach out to Darlene. She do amazing work, amazing t-shirts, amazing logo. She definitely have a vision.
Yes.
And then I love the fact that when she was talking about something, I like to bring people vision to life. Ain't so many people do not do that.
They don't. They just, whatever you got, they give it to you instead of like helping you make this thing 3D.
Yes, it's a ministry.
Yes, taking it to another level.
Yes.
But yes, we love you, Darlene. Thank you. And today, how you doing today? You feeling all right?
Girl, I don't know. I'm a little nervous. You know, I don't know why, but I don't know, like, you know what? He keep messing with me back there, y'all. So I'm smiling. Y'all like, what is she smiling about? But yeah, this topic is really, really deep. You know what I mean? What we're gonna be talking about, and it's basically saying your self-denial and how it affects me. You know, and when I mean about me, it could be all of us and stuff like that. People living in self-denial, and just to let you know, like, we're gonna let you know what it is, and to and how it has negative effects. You know, and so you wouldn't think that it would connect to you. You wouldn't think that this would, like, you know, like, how can my self-denial affects other people? That's my thing. You know, you just trying to steal my shine. No, baby, I'm not trying to steal your shine. Trust and believe.
No, you put me in it.
That's right.
All right, so that's awesome. So today, well, before we get into that, we're going to talk about self-denial itself. You know, signs of self-denial. Have you ever been in self-denial?
Yes, I think that we all have a form of self-denial. I think that, yes, I've been in self-denial about myself. Like, my kids used to always say, Mom, you're controlling. No, I'm just being a parent. I'm not being controlling. Like, no, you're controlling. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make you do everything that I want you to do. You know what I mean? I feel like, I think we all got, just that self-denial about certain things. You know, sometimes we are blinded to our actions because sometimes we feel like we are the leader. You know what I mean? So sometimes when you lead over people, like me leading over my kids, it's like, what? I belong here. You won't have to do what I say. You know what I mean? But then with the kids, it's sometimes, honestly, it takes away their voice. It takes away their voice. So you got to understand that even though that you are the mother and you are the daddy, you have to allow your kids to develop their own mindset.
Yes. That's good. That's real good. Like you said, I think everyone have a form of it because we don't see ourselves, you know, so other people can kind of tell us some stuff about us that we do not see. And the first thing we say, not me. Oh, no, you got it all wrong. And I know I was a big candidate of that. Like, I had that so bad. I did not even see, my flaws and how it affected other people. Yeah. So that was me, what you was talking about earlier. So let's talk about some signs when people are in self-denial. So people that's in self-denial, they avoid talking about the issue. So it's like, what do you think about that? So it's like, if you tell me something like, hey, I don't know if you noticed it or not, but, you handled that real bad, I think that was real offensive, to the person you was just speaking to. And I'm like, no, it wasn't. That's how I talk, something wrong with them. It's like they too sensitive. But then you like...
That's the big one, dear.
Yeah. I used to be like that because I was a person who, I just talk straightforward. And people used to get so offended with the things I say. And I just thought like, hey, I just said the same thing they said, but I'm just, not sugarcoating.
Just more bluntly.
Yeah, it was like blunt.
Yeah.
And so... I didn't realize how that affected a lot of people. So I was in denial that I was hurting people until I started getting all this backlash. And I'm like, so I had to get an interpreter. But she can help me talk. Because I'm like, Lord, you're going to have to help me talk. Because, I know words can, are a weapon. But, it was really hurting people. Yeah. So I really had to get a grip on that.
Yeah. Really. People have to learn that words have two different meanings.
Oh, that's
it depends on your audience, who you're talking to. So that's why it's not sometimes good to always say how you feel, because sometimes how you feel, that it might be true what you're saying, but it's the delivering towards it. Because, you could be harsh with some people, and then some people are just really oversensitive, you know what I mean? And that can come off like, yeah, I know you're right, but you just wounded me, you know what I mean? But it wasn't my intent to wound you, it was me to bring you into some type of truth.
Absolutely.
So that's again, like, that just explains what we're talking about, self-denial. Like, I'm trying to bring you into some truth, and you just think like, oh, you just super offended me, you know what I mean? So sometimes, some people, I was just telling my daughter that sometimes that's what people do. Like you tell them stuff, you be telling them the truth or whatever, but all they see is the tone of voice. And when you just see the tone of voice, then they be in self-denial about who they is, and they never change, because they looking at it like, dang, she just went after me, but not that she went after me in truth to give me light, to set me free. You know what I mean? So sometimes people are just, they allow the offense and the tone to be their truth, that you're coming about, versus saying that she said this to help me. You know what I mean? Not to harm me or whatever. So they live in self-denial because they don't accept the truth, and they just want to believe a lie and want to believe in the tone versus in the lesson.
That's good. I like what you said. Because that's absolutely true. I used to think that it don't matter how people say it, just hear what they're saying, right? Until that started happening to me. And I'm like, oh goodness, it's like I couldn't even hear what they were saying, because how they approached it, and I think that when people are in self-denial, I think that when someone come to them, it always start off calm, but it escalate into them getting more aggressive, because it's like, you're not hearing me,
That's because with self-denial, it's a coping method. I can't even pronounce it.
A coping method.
Yes, it's a coping method. What happened is protect them from dealing with the truth.
Yeah.
So sometimes they just refuse to say, like, accept something for what it is, and sometimes they want to argue. You know what I mean? They want to argue, or they want to, sometimes they don't see their self, and that's the whole thing of what self-denial is. And sometimes they're not humble enough to understand that somebody is trying to tell them something that's good for them, and they always on the offense. And they always on the fence. Like I said, they always on the fence. They always on attack. You know what I mean? And that's because it's hard for people. It's easy for them to believe a lie than accept the truth.
You know what? Now, before we got here, I was thinking about this story, and I wasn't going to say it, but I think you just pushed it out of me. I'm going to share it. So I heard this like a long time ago, and people may have heard this before. It was like the truth and the lie was at a gym. And the lie told the truth, let's take a swim. So the truth took off all his clothes, jumped in the water. And the lie put on all the truth clothes and went out. And went out to the people and was telling people that he's the truth. And so the lie came, it was like, hey, he's a lie, I'm the truth. And the moral of the story is, no one believed him. But the moral of the story is that people will believe a dressed up lie than a naked truth.
That's so true. And that is so true. And I think that's really honestly what goes on in the world. I think that sometimes, that's why it's so hard for pastors and people and teachers to talk to you, because honestly, you've been affected by a negative, basically you've been affected by a lie. And so that's why it's hard for people to believe that God is God. Hard to believe that God gonna show up for you. You know what I'm saying? And this and that, because you so used to just being, you call it this reality, but you are not living in reality. You're living in a lie. You living in a virtuous lie. And so that's why it's so hard for us to come in and tell you that God is good, tell you that God is getting ready to do something for you, and for and you, it's hard for you to believe it. It's hard for you to believe it because you've been so disappointed. It comes from somewhere. Don't get me wrong. It comes from somewhere or whatever. And so it's just easy to believe that God don't love you. It's easy to believe that nothing is never going to happen for you. You know what I mean? And I these are people that be in self-denial. This is sometimes where they mind think. So they just be like, it's just like, so if I believe that God is going to do it, but what if God failed me? And so now I just got to believe that it's not going to happen.
That's good. That's really good. I love it, because that is true how people decide to think, because they're afraid of getting let down. They're afraid of getting hurt. They're afraid of taking chances, taking risks, or, feeling like they'll fail.
Yeah.
So it's easier to, like, how they say, expect the worst, and if the good happen, that's what people do. Instead of expecting good, and if something don't happen, then hey, try it again. But that's not the thought process. I love what you said, because that is true, the mindset of a lot of people.
Yeah, I was thinking about this topic or whatever, and the reason why I said that, sometimes when you are in self-denial, and that, it hurts other people. So I wanted to talk about, like, we're going to get into some of the signs, but I really wanted to talk about the effects of self-denial. The effects of self-denial when you're dealing with a loved one and a person or whatever, and it could be a drug addict, not realizing that I'm really drinking too much or whatever, and it's like, you're tripping because I can handle it. You know what I mean? In their head, they like, I can handle it, but on surface, they're drowning. You know what I mean? And that's what they got to really realize. They're drowning, but the part of the drowning is where I'm coming from. When you in self-denial, sometimes you drown other people with you.
Wow.
You drown other people with you. And what I mean about this, like, it's, what God was showing me is this. He's saying that sometimes, like, let's say you have a girlfriend and she's in an abusive situation. And in her abusive situation, like, every time she keep coming to you, venting to you, but and so what God was showing, that how I was affected by how, I'm speaking for myself, how I was affected by people that does this, and I'm sure that a lot of y'all will agree. So you got a girlfriend that keep coming to you saying, he's doing this, he's doing this, he's doing this. I'm about to leave him. I'm about to get ready to go. This and this and that, and this and this and that. So you, as the girlfriend, you're like, okay, come on, let's go do this. We could go beat him up. We could go do this. Girl, let's come in there and let's take up all his stuff and take your kids, and we out of this place. And then in the same breath, I'm in this emotion, I'm in this rage, like, how dare him, how do this, how he this, how this and that, I don't like him, girl, come on, let's go, I'm your ride to die. But then in the same breath, you go back the next day. You go right back to the same thing, but you got me all in your emotions. You got me angry. You got me, you know what I'm saying? I'm going through the whole, I'm going every bit like you. And while you going back to him, sleeping with him, now I got to carry this burden of the fact that he just hurt or beat my friend. And that's crazy, because you don't really realize that sometimes it ain't even really good to vent to somebody unless you're ready to come out.
Yeah.
So when you're not ready to come out, then I'm sitting here and I'm praying for you. I'm worried about you or whatever. I'm just so concerned while you going back and having your tea in the morning with the same person that you just put me in all this emotion. God said to me that it's like somebody sitting there telling you that they got cancer. Saying I got cancer, and you crying and you praying and you all emotion, all these emotions and stuff with them. And then they tell you, guess what? Never mind, I don't have it. You know what I mean? But you just gave me something that was so devastating to me, that so disturbed me, and then you turn around, you gave me some false information. And that's what you're doing. You're giving people false information, because guess what? You know that you're not ready to leave.
No.
You're not ready to get out. And then now you done take me through this whole emotion and this whole devastation or whatever. You got my emotions up and down. And then on top of that, it even gets sometimes your denial could become deadly to people. You sitting there and you telling your brother, like, this man that just did this, and then now he got his gun. And now somebody is getting killed for your self-denial. And that's why I'm saying it can cause death to people. Not only it can cause death, it can cause stress to people. And it can wear on people's heart, can cause sickness, because guess what? They love you.
Yeah.
So therefore, they're going to be in every emotion that you have or whatever. And you got to be very, very careful with this self-denial. Be real. Say, you know what? He hit me, but I love him. He hit me, but I ain't ready to go. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, to me, start being real with people. Start being real with where you are. Because you don't realize your self-denial can hurt someone else and take people on an emotional roller coaster that shouldn't even be there.
That's good what you said, because people do get other people involved in a situation just to have a moment. But it's a moment for you, but it just disrupt my whole peace. Because now, like you said, I'm worried about you. I'm concerned about you. I'm about to call, make sure you're all right. I need to have the police on speed dial. I don't know what's going on.
That's right.
And, you know, and it's just for you to have a moment to say, I need a moment. I'm just about to vent. I just need to get this out so I can go back in it. You know, but don't have me out here on the limb and then you go back to safety.
That's my point.
Well, I'm not going to say safety, but you go back. You know, you go back in it while I'm still out here on the limb, like, okay, I'm waiting.
Now I done cussed this man out. I done literally put a gun out on this man, and then now I done created an enemy while you done created love.
Wow. Yeah. So you know what? I had a friend that she never used drugs in her life, and one day she decided to try it, and she just went straight down, right? And so she went to try to get help, and she everyone was trying to get her to go get help. And so I went over there because something had happened. I went over there to check on her, and you know, and I appreciate what she said to me. I said, look, you know, you need to go get help, you know, let's go. And she said, I'm not ready. She said, I'm not ready. And she said, and when I'm ready, I'll let you know. Wow. And so I could have, you know, it hurt in my heart. It really hurt in my heart. But I appreciate her telling me that.
That's right.
Because now she was being real. She was making a choice. So instead of me worrying myself, trying to, you know, thinking, you know, like, come on, and you know, like making sure I'm doing all this work, but she's sitting there like this, and I'm like this. Come on, come on. And she would have been sitting there like this, and I would have been doing all the work, getting exhausted and getting hurt more, like, you know, trying to convince her, like, come on. But she already had made up mind. So, you know, only thing I could tell her is, you know what, be careful. I'm here for you, and I'm praying for you. And whenever you're ready, you call me.
You know what?
And so it gave me a choice, whether to try to get in this or just sit back, you know, and reserve my strength and energy, because I'm fighting against a brick wall if she already made that decision, you know. So I appreciated that. And now, I mean, she's fully recovered and she's doing really well, you know, and she did it, like, made this choice on her own. And that's why I think when people do that, it means more and it lasts longer. As opposed to somebody trying to make them make a choice. You know, she wasn't in self-denial. She knew exactly where she was at. She knew exactly what she was doing. And she figured, the only thing about it, she figured she wasn't hurting nobody but herself. But, you know, when people see you on the stage, it kind of hurt the people around you to see you like that.
And that's what I mean by it wears on you. Like, that self-denial, it can drain energy. It drains your energy. And, you know, and it really affects your peace. Yeah. And what people don't really realize, that while you're venting, I'm devastated. You know, I'm like devastating in your venting, and it's like, and it don't mean, I'm not telling people not to vent. No. But sometimes, you know, you gotta hold some stuff until you're ready. Because one thing about it is, you don't understand how it affects your, you know, you being my daughter, or, you know, or you being my son, or how it affects leadership. Right. You know, and sometimes people that with self-denial, when it comes to leadership, it's like, you know, like, it's hard to make them, but, you know, to believe something different than other than what they see their self do. You know, it is, because I remember, like, sometimes when you know, you get ready to prophesize, and we was talking about this, me and my friend earlier, and we was talking about, like, sometimes people don't want you to look in. And I'm like, well, that's a spirit, because sometimes they know they need to be delivered from something or whatever, but they want to hold on to it. You know, sometimes that becomes, you know what I'm saying, you begin to you start comforting it and protecting it when it needs to go. You know, so it's like, you got to really be careful with that, because you don't want people to look in for you to be healed. You know, and you actually want to be healed, but that's how you know it's kind of like a spirit. You know what I'm saying? That kind of like, it start taking control and taking charge, and then it allows your ears to be closed. And so we got to pray in the name of Jesus that your ears be open, so you can hear, so you can to accept the truth and start changing. Absolutely. And it was so weird that, you know, not so weird, but I was just writing a little something, like, while we was while we was like, while I was just waiting. And one thing that I was writing, it was saying that you got to be it was kind of like more of the traits a little bit. So it was just saying that that when you in self-denial, it's hard for us to move on.
That's good.
Like, have you ever experienced that? It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard for somebody to move on, because if you don't see yourself, then how can we move past what's hurting us?
Yeah.
And then it was saying that, you become hard-headed. It's like you become so hard-headed or whatever. And then now, in your hard-headed, now you're not even teachable. So that's something else is taking residue, something else that's entering in that self-denial. And then I heard that not only that you're not teachable, you begin to hurt yourself and everybody around you. And then I heard God said these affects everyone around you and can last. It could be an everlasting thing.
Wow.
And because self-denial, sometimes what God was showing me, and that's why I was sitting there, that self-denial trigger effect in your generation. So now your kids are having these same traits because mama or daddy not dealing with their issues. And if mama and daddy not dealing with their issue, then guess what? The kids gonna grow up. This is what God is saying to me, and while I was sitting there, they're gonna grow up with the same effects. Not taking responsibility and afraid to touch something out of fear.
Wow.
And then he was saying that not only it began to, you understand that in your self-denial, God said it holds you for my peace and my love.
That's good.
That you can't have peace, you can't have no joy, and he said that you will always be restless. Because you're battling with a lie and the truth.
That's good.
So this is what, I was trying to get more, but it's just like, you got to understand that when you're in self-denial, there is no peace and there is no joy.
Yeah.
Why? Because of fear. You are in fear of yourself and fear of making decisions, and because of that, it affects everything around you. It affects everything around you.
Wow.
It's like, what are you going to do about it? Because guess what? When you don't cover you don't cover your surroundings.
Okay.
So I need you not to be in self-denial today. I need you to wake up. It's time to wake up. It's time to face the reality so you can come out. You can no longer hide under a rock anymore. And I know that you are hurting. I know that I can see the pain in you. I can see you wanting to come out. But we rebuke fear today. That you will walk out of your self-denial and walk right into truth. And walk right into your peace. Right into the love that God has for you. And that you will be able to sleep. You don't realize that self-denial causes stress and anxiety. And it causes conflict.
Oh, you said it causes conflict.
And what I mean about conflict, because if you in self-denial, it can become an argument because you don't see yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't see yourself. So therefore, it can cause conflict. And even though sometimes they can see themselves, but it's so hard for them to hear it. And so they start grieving.
We was talking earlier. Now you said sometimes conflict can help bring self-awareness, like the fact that you're in denial.
Sometimes we have to be able to argue with a person sometimes for them to be able to see themselves. And sometimes it take something dramatic, something dramatic to happen. And sometimes it might take a person that you love that don't want them to see you in that way. And you'll receive it from them. You know what I mean? You'll receive it from them because you'll be like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Now, it hurts. So it kind of break up everything and make you realize like, okay, this is serious. Sometimes it take a dramatic moment.
Yeah, I agree. I think that you and I had some dramatic moments. a lot of stuff we talk about, it do reflect on our relationship life. But that's true. You know, sometimes we had to have some dramatic moments to really see, you know, see ourselves, you know, how we come off to other people. And so,
Can we talk about like how to move past denial?
absolutely, that's the good part, right?
think it's
How
right.
can we help somebody move past denial? Because we want to help them, right? That's what we're here for.
Listen to the first one that you're reading. This one, when it says moving past denial, the first one.
Moving past denial. All right. Honestly, examine what you fear. Wow, we just
talked about that. That's so crazy.
Yes, you
That's
have
so
to
crazy.
honestly examine what you fear. What are you afraid of? What does, you know, what is it that you're not trying to face? And is it the pain that you will feel? Because some people be in denial about a family member, you know, being sick, and they don't want to believe that, you know, it's their time to part, you know, and so they in denial. And it's like, what is it that you in denial? What is you're afraid of fearing? You know, besides the fact of losing someone, are you afraid of dealing with life after them? Are you afraid of the pain that come with the fact that they won't be there? You know, so, you know, honestly examine what you fearing.
Yeah, I think that sometimes what people do is the reason why they in denial, because sometimes it can be an insecure thing, and it could be people. I seen that one of the things, the reason why people like to be in self-denial, because they don't want to be alone. They don't want to be alone, and they honestly rather deal with the pain than actually facing something different. You know, it becomes a comfort thing. Like, I know I need to get out, but then if I get out, I'm going to be all by myself.
Yeah.
I know I need to get out, but then who else going to love me? Who, you know, because sometimes in these toxic relationships, it'll make you live in denial, because honestly, you start thinking that I would never, ever have a love like this. And I would never be able, you know, because I know people personally that literally in self-denial, and I wouldn't even call it sometimes self-denial, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think that they not living in the reality of they need to get out of something. I think that there is fear, is something else that I might put flowers on it, and I can experience that because I dealt with a lot of pain, and sometimes it was just easy for me to say that, well, they didn't mean to hurt me. Maybe they didn't do this, and maybe this, that, or maybe it wasn't like that. And so it's like I constantly gave people a pass because I did not really want to deal with, is they really ugly? Is they really like doing this to me? Are they really doing this and that? But it gotta be a cause. So that's self-denial. So you like, it gotta be a cause, it gotta be a root, or maybe then you start blaming yourself. You start being like, well, maybe because I did this, and maybe this, and it's just like the woman is, or whatever, like with an abusive husband, and she keeps saying like, well, the only reason why he did this is because I brought his food cold. You know, and so that's how like deep it is. So you be like, well, you start making excuses for your self-denial.
That's good.
You know, so, you know, you got to really be careful with that, because honestly, it goes back to not loving yourself enough.
Yeah.
It really does.
And
that's why it hurts other people, because they just see that, you know, you're not loving yourself, and then sometimes I'm loving you more than you loving yourself, and that's hurting me. And that's why we're talking about that. Your self-denial, it hurts me, because to see you like that in self-denial and see you hurting yourself and being afraid and not to come out of something, it's like, it's devastating. You just devastated like your whole world. Everything is around you. Like, come on, baby. Come on, like, you know what I'm saying? And I mean by baby, by man, by woman, whoever, girl, is this and that. It's like, come on, it's time for self-love. It's time for you to love yourself. It's time for you to realize that you need to get out. Stop making excuses for him or her actions, that this thing that's going on is not love. And then you got to allow God to mold and shape you. And you got to allow people to say something to you. Speak into that negative mindset of yours, your comfort zone that you didn't actually set you sitting on.
That's good. Okay. So, definitely.
Say the second one. This is good.
Think about the potential negative consequences of not taking action.
Yeah, there it is. That's when I was talking about it can cause murder.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, your actions can cause a lot of, like, people to get hurt. You know what I mean? Like, it could be negative consequences not only to you, but to the people around you. Because that goes back to, it's like, if you don't take action, what about the girl that did not take actions quick enough or whatever? You know, didn't take actions quick enough or whatever, and then now she was somebody, now she got killed. You only got one life, babe. If you don't take actions, the necessary actions to take care of yourself, to get out, it might cost you your life.
Wow, this one right here kind of applied to me. It says, allow yourself to express your fears and emotions. I'm saying that because well, I was in a situation where, I think I was telling you this earlier about, well, you know, people used to play on my, you know, my sensitive heart. And so they used to take me on the emotional roller coaster. So in doing that, I, you know, start taking action within myself to protect me. So now it's like, I guess it's ending, you know, I guess it can be connected to this. So now it's like, when people tell me things, I tend to take it through a process, and as opposed to taking it for what it is. And it kind of reminds me of self-denial, because it's like I created a system to protect me from the reality of the fact that, you know, I know that they probably take me on a roller coaster or whatever. So I created a system to help me perceive what they're saying. And so it's like I screen everything that comes to me and try to protect myself. And so now that actually caused me not to have a natural reaction, because, you know, I have a delayed reaction. And it seemed crazy, but my fear was that you trying to manipulate me, or you trying to take advantage of me, or you just trying to get me an emotional roller coaster. So it's like, and I don't want that. So in order to stay away from that, I used to create a system to process everything. So I guess that, you know, the fears and emotions, it's like, you know.
I like this one. It says, open up to a trusted friend or a loved one.
Yeah, that's good.
And I think that sometimes, like, you know, one thing that I do notice about people that's in denial, they don't trust anyone. Kind of like what you was just talking about a little bit. They don't trust anyone, and they don't open up because they a fear of being judged, or a fear of that person telling you to come out. So that keep you in self-denial, because you already kind of know this is how this conversation gonna go. So you don't trust nobody with your conversation and venting to them, because guess what? You don't want them to tell you to come out of a place that you're comfortable in. Yeah. And so that's another thing. And so honestly, when you trust somebody and you confide in them and you talk to them, then it actually, you got to look at it like this, going to encourage you and motivate you to take a stand.
So one, it says, honestly, examine your fears. It says, think about the negative consequences of not taking actions. Allow yourself to express your fears and emotion. And also, you said, open up to a trusted friend or loved one. That's really good. Also, keeping a journal is really good. You know, for someone who's in self-denial about your experiencing. Because sometimes you write stuff, and then when you go back and look at it, you like, wow.
2 minutes.
You know, wow.
So you can probably just talk about some of the things that would help people, you know, that list that you have, and then we can end this or whatever.
All right. You said talk about the one that can help people. I thought that's what we were doing.
Yeah, that was one, but the one that you had where the 7, what was it? It was one of them. Okay, now I don't care about that. I'm going to tell you how you can help yourself. Yes. Come on now, you need to wake up. That's what it is. That's how you can wake yourself. Like they said, trust somebody, trust a friend or whatever, and, you know, and realize that it's nothing, you have nothing to fear. You know what I mean? And know that if you make a stand, that you're not losing something, you're gaining something.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's what I would say. And Lawana can, I don't know if you got anything to say, but we're getting ready to end because we didn't talk y'all ears out. And I just want to let you know that make sure that when you're being in self-denial or whatever, be true to yourself. And the more you be true to yourself, the more you can heal, the more you can get up, the more that you won't be on a fence magnet about yourself. And it's just like, and receive counsel.
Yeah. That's real good. Everything she said. We love y'all. We Connections to Life. Until next time.
We're out. Thank y'all.
See you.